talking about tea generally, right? If you become yesterday's news, in this sense, Creator Clash, people obviously said bad things about you, but let's be real. You walked through it with your career intact, and at the end of the day, you walked out of it fine, right? You looked ridiculous, but you walked out fine. Don't bring it up again, right? The biggest and easiest way to leave drama behind is to not address it. You amplify the people you don't want every time you do, right? So you want to make sure that if you're eating crow, and you might have heard me use that phrase before, if you're eating crow, make sure that you are doing it for the right reasons, right? Make sure that when you, as an individual, get caught up in drama, that you're saving yourself by speaking about it. Because what's going to happen next is everybody is going to go over every single little beat and detail about you, right? And then guess what happens next? All of a sudden, it comes out that you said the R word, Illuminati. All of a sudden, it comes out that you were doing games behind the scenes, Illuminati, right? Be careful about the details that come up, because those in glass houses should not throw stones, Idubbbz. And this happens all the time, right? This happens all the time because this is what happens. You cover drama, you see this stuff happen all the time. And so today we have that. Idubbbz releases a video about the Froggy Fresh drama. Drama that was yesterday's news, drama that people had stopped caring about. Nobody was addressing it. In my circles, not a soul was talking about Idubbbz. You know what we're all talking about in our private conversations? Illuminati. Idubbbz didn't come up in conversation. We didn't talk about it. We moved on from that. Idubbbz has brought it back. Idubbbz this entire time, for every single time that Sam Hyde comes up in the discussion, right? Idubbbz has thrown the first stone. Idubbbz threw the first stone when he decided to go try and punk Sam Hyde. And that started everything off. It has only escalated from there. But remember, Idubbbz threw the first stone. And every time since, it has been Idubbbz who threw the first stone. Now, I'm not saying that Sam Hyde has never thrown a stone back. You know, Sam Hyde has said, like, oh, you know, Anise is a succubus, Anise is this, that, and the other thing, all these different things. But again, it all comes back to that faithful moment, that point in time, that point in history, right? This whole discussion, and by the way, Anissa also acts like she's never thrown stones. If you were to go and look up Anissa's history, guess what you're going to find out? You're going to find a history of her bullying other women, doing all this, like, horrendous, rude shit, her having this weird relationship with Chris Reagan the entire time. You know, all this stuff is going on about Anissa and Idubbbz, right? And if you're Idubbbz, here's how I would handle the cuck situation. I don't think it's a cuck situation, personally. Right? So when it came out that Anissa, she's an OnlyFans chick, this, that, and the other thing. OnlyFans girls date creators all the time. You don't see any of them get shit, right? Why? Because they're the one dicking down Cindy and not you, okay? They have to jerk off to porn with your dick in it because you're the one fucking her, okay? Like, if you're going to be, like, really, like, uppity about it, like, don't say mean things about my wife. Bro, you know what? Anissa's not, like, the ugliest looking lady. You know, I don't know how I am about the hair. I'm pretty mixed on it personally, but, you know, it's when you make it, like, really, like, oh, this is an issue for me, then clearly maybe you're actually bothered by it. You know, like, if I was Idubbbz, I'd be like, yeah, and I get the fucker and you don't, and you have to jerk off to her. You can't even get the real thing. Like, be like proud of it. Like, don't be like, yeah, I'm a little afraid, right? Froggy wasn't even mean until he got kicked off. Yes, and I will get to that. I don't want to get ahead of it, right? But it's like Idubbbz has just routinely not handled it in a way that I think would be very reasonable for him to handle it. It really would have been better for him to just own it. You know, like, why be, like, butthurt about it? Better yet, Idubbbz, listen, Mr. 8 million subscriber YouTuber, if my wife was doing OnlyFans, I'd be like, yeah, honey, let's do, like, a couples account. Fuck yeah, let's do it. I'm fucking kinky, you're kinky, let's do it. You know, like, why beat around the bush? Why be Mr. Stick in the Mud about it? There's no reason to be sticking in the mud about it. It's like, now, okay, like 2 years ago, whatever, but it's 2023. Like, let's just be fucking sex positive as hell. Who gives a shit? Why be so, like, uppity about it? Come on. So there's that, right? I know some people might disagree with that. They're like, oh, no, Yeah, no jumper style. Right, right. Absolutely. Right? Just fucking own it. Just fucking own it. You know, and it's just like every time it comes up or has a discussion about it, it's like they're afraid about it or they're not confident about it. Listen, guys, you make content online, adults or not, you need to be confident about it. You need to have confidence in yourself. You got to be comfortable getting criticism. And listen, Idubbbz built his career on giving criticism to other people. So he should be able to take it back, and he doesn't. He just doesn't. It doesn't happen, right? Same thing for Anissa. Anissa has this history where she would be dogging on women for the most ridiculous of shit. This comes out, and then, oh, Anissa is also a woman who can't take it. Listen, honey, you're the one who dished it out fucking super long ago, and you're going to expect that not to come up? You're going to expect people to not be annoyed with you, that you haven't received any kind of negative criticism for these things? Come on. Now, don't get me wrong. There are guys that are, like, very anti-sex work, guys that are, like, really just bitchy and moany and all that stuff, and they don't like the fact that Anissa does OnlyFans. There are people like that. I'm not saying they're not, right? But like to act like, oh, we're above the drama. We're not about it. Honey, both you and your husband were living and breathing that shit. Like, let's not pretend that wasn't the case. Past Idubbbz straight up bullied Leafy for having no chin when Leafy was like, actually, Idubbbz was like, I'm just bullying you. It's not that deep. Yeah. There's like all this shit that Idubbbz should have seen coming, right? You could be like, listen, that's not the kind of person I am anymore. I'm not the kind of person I was 4 years ago. That's normal, right? But it's another thing to act very uppity and high and mighty, like, I've learned, I've become a more cultured individual. Like, nobody wants to hear that. That makes you look like an out-of-touch, yuppie old person. Like, fuck off. Like, obviously, I don't say slurs like I used to. I'm not as, like, anti-PC as I used to. I'm not any of those things. But you don't see me going around jerking myself off about how enlightened I am. Because normal people don't do that. I noticed that happens. A creator can dish it out in a multi-part vids but can't take it. Yeah, I mean, you got to just have, like, a really... I cover drama. You need to have bravado and be confident, right? Because a lot of people will come at you for really stupid reasons, right? What do they say about drama channels? You're a clout whore. You like to chase trends. You have nothing original to offer the world. All those normal things. You're only in it for the money, right? You see that stuff all the time, and so you have to take it when it comes out, right? Idubbbz should be able to take it, but he's never been able to take it. He just hasn't, you know? And now Sam Hyde's running a high. Let's be real. Sam Hyde wasn't talked about for a long time, but then this documentary comes out, you know, completely makes Idubbbz look like an idiot. It brings Sam Hyde a new audience of people he never had. It's literally, Idubbbz is, he repped what he sow, you know? He repped what he sow, and now he's living this situation where he created this. He put himself in this position, you know, and honestly, I get it. Like, you don't want to tell your wife she can or can't do OnlyFans, but if you're, like, uncomfortable with it, maybe, like, have an adult discussion with your wife. Like, maybe it's time we retire. Like, listen, I already make, like, millions of dollars a month. Just, like, don't do it anymore. You know, like, have an adult discussion about it. Like normal people, if it does bother you, right? There are ways that we can go about this that doesn't have to be, like, some gigantic internet kerfuffle. Idubbbz just switched up so quickly, it was really odd. See, Flipper, the thing is, I don't think we realize how much time has passed. But, you know, you get in a relationship and all that stuff, and you change as a person a little bit, right? You become a little bit like your partner. And I'm sorry, I have auto mod on to keep people from coming in here and, like, ranting, being, like, psychopaths to me. So that's why that happened, Lich Boy. I apologize for that. But, yeah. So you got all this shit going on. And... That's where everything is. That's where it is. Right. So as Moop brought up in the chat earlier, yeah, this didn't get so bad until Idubbbz made the first call. Like, if you don't want Sam Hyde at the event, that can be done. I 100% understand that. It's your event. Go right ahead. It's a little douchey or annoying to not have your guy sitting at your corner of the ring, the guy you trained with, right? But it's his event, right? But what happened is that Idubbbz, in advance, before Froggy even getting there, is like, yo, you're going to go train with Sam Hyde. Well, just so you know, I have all this beef with him. Froggy was 100% aware of that, right? But it's Froggy's decision. And if he's comfortable with Sam Hyde not being with him in the ring come that night of the fight, that's fine, right? But that was clearly the pretext for why Froggy was kicked. I mean, Idubbbz says it in his video, and we'll react to that video, but it really just comes off as this guy's living rent-free in my head. Like, again, it is Idubbbz' event. If he doesn't want Sam Hyde there, he can say Sam Hyde can't be there, right? But he's taking it a little too far. He's doing it in a way that's going to make people dislike him, right? You know, your wife is her own person. If she's getting dogged on by this guy, defend her. That's reasonable. It makes sense. That's mature. You're her husband, right? But then also, you got to realize that you're both public figures and that individually, both of you can have yourself criticized. You can be critiqued. These things can happen. Now, if Anissa was just some person who was minding her own business in daily life and wasn't a creator, again, that's also a different story. But let's I've already explained the optics of that couple here, right? You know what it is, and let's be honest, because I had somebody bring up the Sam Hyde optics that have been brought up before, right? Yes, Sam Hyde did donate to a neo-Nazi group at one point, right? I don't know if that was for a joke or a bit. Sam Hyde, not his doing on this one, right? But Sam Hyde has become the guy everyone blames for every shooting when a shooting happens. That happens all the time. Sam Hyde was labeled the Ghost of Kiev, which is a fake ace pilot story that was promoted during the war in Ukraine. If news in current time is to be presumed, we might all be doing a tour in Europe soon, so who knows? Right? So Sam Hyde, he's the recipient of a lot of those jokes. And okay, Sam's audience has a lot of edgy people in it, right? From those times when Sam was more edgy, right? But does this mean that Sam Hyde is responsible for his audience in its entirety? No, absolutely not. Right? Again, you reap what you sow, right? So if you build an audience, it's going to be filled with a bunch of edgy motherfuckers. You're going to get a lot of edgy motherfuckers that are going to say things online. But recently, and this is a video that went viral of Sam Hyde, and I will play it, but Sam Hyde went off on a guy who makes or who donates a shit ton of money to him, where Sam Hyde directly addressed all the anti-Semitism, and he says, pick your battles, like, oh, the free speech absolutist thing, right? But Sam Hyde has come out directly and stated that that shit is cringe, and he doesn't support it, right? He came out and said it. And so, the whole thing about Sam being an anti-Semite or a neo-Nazi is completely bunk. I mean, Jesus Christ, he trained Harley. Harley is Jewish. His last name is Mornstein. Now, whether or not he's religiously or ethnically Jewish is another question, but it's a point to bring up, right? It is a thing that is brought up against Sam as a way to discredit him, but it's never backed up with any claims or anything reasonable. It's always, well, I disagree for these blank reasons. Okay, please provide evidence. Then they don't. It's made with complete bad faith about Sam Hyde. Moop said the part of the video with Ian showing the messages between him and Froggy are interesting because Froggy was so respectful, but Ian skipped past the messages. Literally, you need to slow it down to catch it. I'll pull up the messages as well because plenty of people have already shown those. But let me show this clip of Sam first because I want to get out ahead of these like, oh, Sam hides this, that, or the other thing type. Sam Hyde goes off on donor, right? Because this is like annoying and really like disingenuous argument that's brought up all the time, and this isn't like addressing everything Sam's like done or said. Like, okay, I don't care if people use certain words that are slurs in private or in public. I've never been a guy to police speech. That's not who I am. I don't go around saying slurs. I respect people's pronouns. I do those things. Those are personal choices for me. Whether or not I can make those choices for you are not it's not my decision, right? So Sam sometimes does say things like slurs and stuff like that. Now, if that's like a deal breaker for you with Sam, sure, fine, whatever. I can't get you to come to my side. That's just my opinion on the guy, right? But I don't. It's how you use the word, right, rather than what the word is, in my personal opinion. But again, that's a take I'm willing to have people disagree with me on. I am just giving it so that way people know where I stand. Because a couple nights ago on Fish Tank, Sam said the N-word. Not at anybody directly, but just as like to put a pin in it as like a comedic thing, right? And it was funny, I'm not going to lie. But a lot of people would be really turned off by a guy saying the N-word who was white. But it's not like he was saying it to disparage anybody or any group of people. But again, I understand. You know, it's an opinion we can agree to disagree on. But here we go. I've pulled up the clip. Let's react to it now. Now, remember, the guy who is donating is somebody who is very, like, he's a whale, right? So he donates a lot to Sam.
Fork it up. What you guys have created here is amazing. Amazing job, guys. Really loving it. Will there be any restrictions / filtering on the TTS, or are you free speech absolutists?
What do you think? What do you think? We spent $100,000 on a project. Yes, we're free speech absolutists. Post some loli. You fucking piece of shit. Stay the fuck away from all my shit.
McLovin super chat $25. Chris, 3 favorite metal bands.
What do you think about that?
Yeah.
Are you free speech absolutists?
No.
Are you fucking kidding? Even just let alone the offense that to me, like the idea of you fucking up my project. How stupid? How fucking stupid can you get?
Yeah.
And I'm mad for you. I'm mad for you. I'm not mad at you. I'm mad like because I know you're fucking your life up.
I'm for Q.
Mom, is there an argument to be made for the logical distribution of CP? Fucking stop! You're hurting yourself. You're fucking hurting yourself with all that shit.
The other thing, if people abuse TTS and go too far, your account will be banned, and we'll take all your tokens away. So press the gas as hard as you want.
And I'm not even mad at the person at the thing. I'm mad that I've seen like talented people come to me with like game dev stuff, and they've got a game they made in Game Maker Studio, slick graphics, good controls. It's Sam Hyde shooting up Hasidic Jews, and like, what are you gonna do? You're 19 years old. Think about. Obviously, I flushed away a lot of opportunities. Okay, think about when and where is the right time to flush away the opportunities. All right, it's not in the college admissions essay. It's not when you're 21. It's not when you're just like figuring out where the line is. Fucking think.
So there we go. There we go. Very hard, but I think Sam makes a great point. You know, obviously, test it out, but be smart. Don't abuse that position of you being able to be edgy to be just fucking offensive for the sake of it. Sam even talks from a place of experience where him being edgy has cost him opportunities, right? Because he has seen it. He brings up the example of people that are talented coming to him, and it's a game of Sam Hyde shooting up Hasidic Jews. So, does that sound like a guy who's like totally on board for neo-Nazis, right? I mean, obviously he could be hiding it, but like this whole like 4D chess, oh, it's a dog whistle bullshit is like really stupid. Like we're getting really stupid with it, okay? He's pretty fucking clear there, right? It's one of those things that it's very upfront, it's very forward. He's very honest about it. But yeah, Fish Tank is pretty ridiculous. There's a lot of crazy stuff that goes on. It's all over the place all the time. That's just how it is. And it's ridiculous to just flush it all away if you're being a fucking annoying person, right? Like Jet and Sam have even said you can't just like rag on someone the first night for like there's a girl who's a little overweight on Fish Tank. and a lot of the chat wants to send through TTS about how she's overweight, right? So Jet and Sam both said, nope, you can't. You know? They just shut it down. They're like, we can't have like the first 2 weeks in the fish tank be pure hell. Like we got to go up slowly. We can't just initiate with that, right? So that's what's going on. But yeah, I just had, and I was not nice to this guy at all. I was not nice to this guy at all. Anyway, I should also say that my tweet. So guys, Shitpost Gateway, which is like a fucking million follower account, retweeted my meme. Not even a meme. It was like a lighthearted joke. This whole like bit that Sam Hyde has done, right? Where he's on like this TED talk, and he's like, old people, we're just gonna kill them, right? He does that. And he basically just like filibusters a TED talk for like 15 minutes. It's a completely psychotic thing. Anyway, my tweet has left my audience, so the reading comprehension skills have dropped significantly. I'm going to need to mute this tweet because it's like I can't read anything in my feed right now. And it's like people arguing and all of that. But I was really uncharitable, right? I was really uncharitable about it. But he, like I said, you know, Sam has done edgy things, and that's flushed away stuff, right? And then at some point, we gotta be like, oh, okay, when are we gonna just stop? When are we just gonna stop bringing up stuff from the past and judging people on it? I'm not gonna judge Sam, or not Sam Hyde. I'm not gonna judge Ian for his use of the N-word in the past, right? There's just no reason for me to do that. I think it's a little disingenuous and like little too optics hungry, right? I mean, I get it. I'm a drama YouTuber, so optics are important to me. But it gets a little ridiculous at a certain point, right? So I think it was 2014, 2015. So 2014, 2015, Sam Hyde donated a bunch of money to the Daily Stormer, which is like, if I recall, like an alt-right news platform, or it was. I don't think they're around anymore, right? But he did do that. And Sam Hyde operates, okay, when you get rich, money is like a different level to you, right? So $5K to me and you might be a lot of money. It is. But to Sam, that's a completely different level of money. I'm not saying it was okay or funny for him to do that, but he did do that, right? But as I have shown pretty clearly and succinctly, I don't think Sam is alt-right or a neo-Nazi. Conservative, definitely. But just because you're conservative doesn't mean you're a neo-Nazi. Please step off of Twitter, because actually when you go into the real world, did you know that there's political variety? Did you know that people could have disagreeing opinions and not actually want to murder each other or threaten to kill people? I mean, that's crazy. You could leave the internet and like talk to someone that has a different opinion and then not threaten them. Crazy, I know. I should also mention I muted this guy like a long time ago. He'd been a follower for a while, but I just ripped him a new one. Anyway, so like there's a difference between young person saying edgy stuff to be funny and an actual extreme. Yeah, absolutely. There's like a difference, and like we gotta gauge these moments. Real people exist. What the fuck is this Fanta ad? Guys, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to run ads on Twitch. Twitch runs ads against my will, all right? Anyway, the guy who is self-identifying as woke is really butthurt about the thing that I just mentioned to you guys. And like I said, I already addressed it, and I already knew he was coming at me and not being genuine about it. And so I just called him 5'4". because he lists his height in his bio. Why would you do that, fella? Former watcher of FPS Diesel, don't list your height in your bio, because that is like, listen, I know you're if you're 5'4", you're gonna be easily offended about your height. I know how it is. I'm a guy, all right? But wow, this motherfucker still follows me. But like, bro, if you don't want me to make a joke about your height, don't put it there. Don't make it easy for me to make that joke. Yeah, I saw that tweet response and was like, oh boy, here come the wackiness. Defend the Candyman, they come out of the woodwork and ignore any valid points you make. I don't think I've ever heard a woke person unironically call themselves woke. I have. Being terminally online can really damage some people. Someone promote being social in real life more. I say this all the time. I say, like, you go out there and you talk to normal people. Like, you realize that we agree more than we disagree, and that these political extremes only exist online. You know, you can't get through to people as easily on the internet. You don't think they're real people. You don't take that charitability into account, right? I doubt Luke over here. I doubt Luke would be so fucking vehement if he was standing in front of me. One, because I'm bigger than him. But also, two, because that's just, you know, we just interact differently, right? We can understand our social cues better in person. It's important to do those things. But yeah. So it's always the same stuff that comes up about Sam. It's always the same. It's like the guy has been completely not crazy for like a very long time, yet people are still treating it like the Tim Heidecker days, right? But I really, my personal opinion, right, based on what I've seen, Sam Hyde is not the man that many people on the internet claim him to be. I really hate it how we just like label anybody Nazi. And if I see like someone who's like a real neo-Nazi, I'll say it. I don't think Sam Hyde is that person. And I think it is stupid to say otherwise. And I think we really need to stop devaluing the power that some words have, because it's getting really fucking stupid. But yeah. So that was the only one I felt like mentioning. Creator Clash was a one-night event. And I didn't know what was happening until the Froggy Fresh drama happened, right? I coming up like a week or two before Froggy Fresh was kicked from the card, I made a tweet about Froggy Fresh, and we all know if you were here on the stream, I was talking about how Froggy Fresh and all the fucking bitch-made creators at Creator Clash were pissing on me for making a vent tweet about how I got denied on a boxing card, but Flamenco could be on it. And if you don't know who Flamenco is, I'm not going over it now. But it was just annoyed that some irrelevant fuck was on a card, and not me, somebody who trains for this, right? Especially when I would be a bigger draw, in my opinion. But yeah, I didn't hear about Creator Clash up until the Froggy Fresh drama. It wasn't a thing on the radar. I wasn't even going to watch it until Froggy Fresh was kicked from it. And listen, I'm going to be honest. I just donated money directly, and it's not like I have much money to give, but you know, I didn't want to support Creator Clash, so I didn't. I had a friend stream it to me. That was it, and I enjoyed it, but I don't think I'd have paid for it, and I would have felt annoyed. And honestly, here's a boxing opinion. I think Creator Clash is very disrespectful to the sport of boxing. I think it's very there's a lot of things that are wrong with it. They talk about safety, and I don't think they're very serious about it. There's things, I don't think the ring was made to regulation. There's just so much that I did not appreciate. Listen, I get it. Not everybody's super patriotic now. I'm not a super patriotic person. I'm not that person. But I thought it was really fucking like cringe how Matt Watson and his homeboy did the fucking national anthem. Listen, if you don't want to be patriotic, just hold your event and then don't do the national anthem. Don't like do a parody version of the national anthem. Like, that's fucking cringe. But again, maybe that's a hot take too. Excuse me. Right? I get it. Some people are way more disillusioned than I am. And don't get me wrong, I'm super disillusioned, guys. I'm sitting here with like over $100K in student loan debt, okay? So don't think I feel like confident about where I live or the society I live in right now. But it was just like really fucking cringe and God, it was so dangerous for Chris Ragon to fight William Haynes. The weight difference, the height difference. You know, like, just don't talk about safety if that's how it's going to be, right? It's very disrespectful to the sport of boxing. I appreciate the sport, the craft, the history. It's just, it was stupid. So this was another thing. Creator Clash, I did not know that the fighters were getting paid. I thought their training cost was being covered. But then I learned through Twitter Spaces, through Harley Mornstein, Harley Plays, Epic Mealtime, getting into, like, beef with, like, people who are irrelevant and nobodies. I mean, Harley's irrelevant, too. He's an irrelevant fuck. But he was, like, saying how there was, like, a minimum $50K bag for fighters. I thought they didn't get paid. I didn't know that the Creator Clash people got paid. I feel like if we remixed the national anthem to have a better beat and we allowed dancing instead, so it's harder to kneel because I want to bust a move. So they weren't hiding it, but it's not like they told anybody. They were keeping it really quiet. Like, why aren't you saying that? Like, they're treating it like it's about charity, and I get it. It is about charity, but it was, like, really weird to not say, oh, well, you do get paid. Oh, they are getting paid. You know, it was like, okay, well, like, I don't necessarily like these people. Why would I pay for a ticket instead of, like, just donating directly and then watching a pirated stream? At least that way I know all of it's going to the charity, right? Like, that's just better overall. I don't need to share the funds with you. I think Creator Clash should have done more to promote the event before. I think there should have been some, you know, kayfabe type, you know, wrestling showmanship, you know, get some theatrics going. I think theatrics would have been important for Creator Clash. You know, even if the beefs are fake, developing those beefs beforehand, make the fights interesting. You want to create a narrative, create a story. The reason people like Conor McGregor are so interesting in a fight is because the guy's a fucking character. He has all these like little idiosyncrasies about him that make him interesting to fight and make him interesting against different opponents. You know, there's a reason that fighting characters in fighting games are these like really like showy individuals, you know? And then literally right before the fight, there's like this weird rehearsed like pretend beef thing at the weigh-in. It was like, okay, like this is cringe and you guys clearly don't know how to throw shade at each other, but like this shade should have been going on for the last 8-9 months, you know? It should have been going on for a while. You should have been talking shit about each other for a while. This should have been something that was going on. We're influencers. Influence your audience to go watch it. Don't say, I'm doing something for charity, be silent for 8 months, and then all of a sudden, right before it happens, decide to talk about it again. Like, Jesus Christ, we want to talk about... Hold on, and then on top of that, Harley did that. Harley used the drama with Froggy Fresh to generate interest. Hello? Chill says the announcer was the only good part. But I think that stuff is important, and it would have made a huge difference. You know, just show me the brutality of having to get ready for a fight. Because it's not like fights are easy, guys. This is dangerous. You could get a traumatic brain injury. You could get hurt. You could die. You know, and they talk about safety and all this stuff, and it was just... It's like a weird, like... do as I say, not as I do type of thing with Creator Clash. It's just really, as someone who likes boxing outside of influencer boxing, I didn't like it. I didn't like that stuff. That stuff made me annoyed. And I know a lot of people in the boxing and combat sports community definitely, you know, you could even start talking like this. You could start talking like Mike Tyson. The boxing community is annoyed about influencer boxing because a lot of influencers don't take it seriously. So let's do the showmanship, but let's fucking take it seriously. Because some of those people like Creator Clash got in the ring and they were not ready. They were not ready at all. They were in danger. And those people usually lost the match, okay? Jack Manifold versus whatever the guy called himself, Poppy Smurf. Poppy Smurf, horrible stance. This guy got in a ring, and I was like, he has no idea what he's doing. And then he lost. So that was the first fight of the night, and that told me, oh, some of these trainers for these fighters got the bag, and they did not train their fighter. They got the bag and they left. And Sam Hyde, he does understand boxing. He knows boxing. Right, it could have made a huge difference for some people. Somebody like Sam Hyde clearly cares about the sport. He clearly knows his way around some footwork. He's a big fucking guy. All right, he's a good person to train with. I think if we're talking influencer boxing, he hits that nice middle ground of somebody who understands the sport, but then it also understands showmanship. How long till someone dies live on Creator Clash? Well, technically speaking, Danzin and Misfits and Happy Punch all do more fights more frequently, so there's a higher chance of somebody there dying. But then they also definitely seem to put more work into like medicals and training and all that stuff. It seems a bit more up to code over there. But you know, it's a matter of when, and there's just more frequency over there for somebody to get hurt, right? Well, I think a lot of people are kind of coming around. Okay, so I don't like being an outwardly, like, all the time negative person. I'm pretty doomer-pilled because I cover drama. But I could see why Ian's whole, like, doomer, content cop type of personality would bother people now. Because I just don't want to be surrounded by constant negativity or negative individuals in my life. And he just seems really, like, upset at the world. There's a real chip on Ian's shoulder. And I don't know if that chip is Anissa or just his life or his self-worth. But it's something that comes from within that I think is projecting a negative view of the world through Ian out into the world personally. But that's, you know. But, you know, you've all been here, so we all know the fucking lore going into this. We know that there is not a saint in the room, okay? Just that if I had to spend time and get a beer with anybody, it would be Sam Hyde. That's what I'm saying. All right, so let's read these. Shout out to Willie Mack for screenshotting this. I think Kavos did as well, but I think he just might have nicked Willie's. I just want this event to go well, and part of that is to trying to be proactive about things. I just want to find a solution. I really appreciate your friendship and don't want to feel like I've upset you. Here's the thing. You got to be real careful about what influencers say you're friends with or this, that, or the other thing. It's really funny because Froggy's friends all came out to support him when I said something negative about him. Guess what? Right after Froggy gets dropped, where are all those friends? Oh, Froggy's bad. He doesn't like sex workers. Froggy did this, that, and the other thing. My, what fair weather friends we have here in the creator sphere. Very great people. I would not trust them with my dog, let alone my life. I don't understand what's wrong. Can I not work with Sam Hyde? He seems very nice to me. It's a tricky situation. I personally have been hurt a lot about the things he's said and done. If he's your friend, that's totally understandable. I just don't get along with him, and I'm afraid of having him associated with the event. There are others involved in the event that also aren't comfortable with blank, blank, blank. Yays, my friend, I just don't understand what me going to Rhode Island to work with Sam has to do with anyone who is uncomfortable with him. They don't have to see him or work with him. Froggy brings up a very good point. He's like, I agree. Privately, what you do is absolutely only your business, but because we're running a public charity event, we have to be careful about these things because you do represent the event in some ways. That's true. That's reasonable. I had similar issues last year. I thought, no problem, Harley. You can work with Sam Hyde. But it ended up attracting a bad crowd, and I got harassed online about it a lot because it was a public display. Idubbbz, you banned Harley's trainer from the event. And then guess what? You got shit for it. Crazy. Crazy. All right? You knew that you tried to pull one over on Sam and you took a loss. Of course people were going to talk about it. But guess what made the event worse? When you told Harley he couldn't bring his trainer to the ring. It's almost like if you had pretended like Sam Hyde wasn't involved at all. It wouldn't have been that bad. Sam wouldn't have made a fucking spectacle. Okay? He was banned from the event. But it's not like he was going to go and make a spectacle and make a mockery out of you. Like you took an L in a drama and then it's done. Okay? You don't have to hate each other and have a chip on your shoulder after. And Sam Hyde has repeatedly offered an olive branch, right? But, oh, because you took an L that one time in a video where you try to get a comeuppance on a guy, right? Now you have to make sure he's not at the event so that way he doesn't try and get one up on you again. Okay? That's what that is. All right? That's the timeline of events. And I know I'm going to get Idubbbz simps in my comments for this fucking VOD where they're like, well, actually, blah, 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 blah. Shut up. Shut up. Then just leave. 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 I don't care. Give me the engagement in the comments. I'm not even going to fucking look at it. And then there's the whole thing about Froggy saying all these disparaging things about sex workers, right? So, another thing. All right. So, Froggy was not kicked right away, right? But you know what was happening in the personal circles of Idubbbz? There was a discussion going on between Anissa, Idubbbz, and for some reason, Anissa's mom. That mother, who has taken an active, weirdly active role in her daughter's life online. There's an article on Kotaku about this, okay? About how Anissa's mom is involved with Anissa's booby streaming career. That is literally an article. It exists. This article is about Anissa's mom because that's how involved she is, right? So Anissa's mom starts making all these disparaging jokes. Yeah, the imp incident. All these disparaging jokes about Froggy. He's supposed to take it from the mother-in-law? Isn't the mother-in-law being involved a little fucking strange? Anissa, you're an adult. Idubbbz, you're an adult. Say, hey, mom, you're not a celebrity or a person on the internet. Stop fighting my battles. You know what this shows to me? You guys know those parents, if you ever work with kids, right? They're like, oh, my little Timmy would never do such a thing. That's Anissa's mom. My little Anissa would never do such a thing. Oh, how could you do this to my little daughter? How many dramas do we need people to understand it's better to just admit honestly than just lying and dragging the drama longer? The thing is, Draft, is that their ego can't allow it. It's too hard for them to take the L, you know? And a lot of the times, they should just take it. They should just take it. Or like, did Idubbbz even need to respond to this? No. In the article, I think it says she snuck into her mod team on an alt and she didn't even know at first. Yeah, at first she didn't believe it was her mom. Of course, somebody would impersonate her mother in the Twitch chat. And soon Rainbow Kids actually thought it was funny, blah, blah, blah. We could have more open conversations about things. See? So Rainbow Kids liked her mother's commentary and eventually promoted her to moderator. We can have more open conversations about... So she didn't know it was her mother at first, but knew it was her mother and then promoted her mother to moderator. Right? Yeah, we need... Like, you need to humble yourself when you're an online creator because I think it's really easy to get, like, super full of yourself. Like, obviously, I'm not successful, right? There's, like, what, 18, 19 of us sitting here listening to me fucking rant about something that nobody cares about. But I think keeping a regular job and then, like, doing a business that, like, requires me working with employees now has kept me a lot more humble because, like, there's people that rely on me, but then also there's people that are worse off than me, and I can understand, like shit could be a lot worse. And just to be, like, normal and, like, talk to people and leave your house and all that stuff makes a huge difference. Yeah, oh, so Matt also provides more stuff. So we got this. You know, we got Maureen Joma again. So for some reason, Anissa's mom, like, really wanted Chris Raygun and Anissa to fucking hook up. And that's, like, super weird. And I don't know why. But that was, like, a huge thing. There was, like, a weird sexual tension between Chris Raygun and Anissa for years, you know. I also, by the way, I did in a roundabout way subtweet about mutuals who unfollowed me because of my stance on Anissa and Idubbbz. And I can now say that person who is bitch made is Chris Raygun. I respect Chris. I like Chris. I've never had a bad experience with Chris, and I don't think it's a problem for him to be friends with Anissa or anything like that. But, you know, it's a matter of being able to call out your friends when they do something stupid. Chris Raygun always struck me as a guy who was a man of the people type thing. So I would hope he would be that critical voice, somebody that they would listen to, but I don't think he is. I don't think he is because there's a differentiating size factor. Not height, though I'm sure height plays a role. You know what they say about tall guys or guys with big noses. It's okay, Chris. I got a big nose too. But, you know, I have no animosity outside of the unfollow. I think it's a little unbecoming and a little stupid. But I understand I'm a drama YouTuber, and that scares some people. But yeah, so Maureen, Joma, mother-in-law, mommy of Anissa, was like dogging on Froggy, and that is what initiated the OnlyFans joke, right? We would not be in this position today had Maureen not been so fucking butthurt about the slight that happened between Idubbbz and Sam Hyde in that documentary years ago. Like this requires the reason I understand some people don't know all the parts of this drama, so it's hard for them to like get a full grasp of it. But even if I've explained it poorly, hopefully you get like a bigger, fuller grasp of this. Like this has been like a weird, like familial feud between the Joma Idubbbz dynasty and Sam Hyde and his backyard fucking idiots. Like Froggy ended up responding to the Idubbbz video. And again, I should say that Froggy insulted my ass. So why the fuck am I defending him? He disparaged me. He made me look stupid. And listen, when I said Froggy was irrelevant, I didn't know I was going to curl that monkey's paw and turn him into the most relevant person related to Creator Clash. But this video goes hard.
Idubbbz, I saw your video. You put my face on SpongeBob SquarePants. You said I was a meanie. You said I don't respect sex workers. I'm going to tell you something. Have you ever seen Ricky Martin in Living La Vida Loca? Have you ever seen that man move? That man is a sex worker. And I respect that man. So you explain that.
Spoken like a king. For real, for real. Anybody who's ever seen Ricky Martin move know that that man is a sex worker. Because he gets everyone bricked up. Everyone. That is the most response. Yeah, like what the fuck else are you going to do if you're Froggy Fresh, right? Super based. And for real, I got a lot of friends who do sex work. Got a lot of mutuals who do sex work. I got nothing against sex workers. Fucking for real. Get that bag. Fellas, it's time for us to get that bag. Start putting your feet online. Pay for that shit. Your feet are worth money. You know, we've had Toxic on the stream, and she draws porn. You know? Like, I don't have a fucking problem against that. FPS is just like Jesus, for real, for real. Yeah. FPS Diesel is 12 apostles, and his Mary Magdalene, who's actually a lady who just draws gobussy porn. It always comes back to goblins here on the FPS Diesel channel, huh? Who's my Judas? Actually, I probably do, but it's not like I'm gonna draw out that old drama. I don't got beef like I used to with any of the people from my past anymore. I set it all aside. Actually, I was an adult. I did that thing that I'm asking Idubbbz to do. I went and I talked to the people, so that way I could put it to bed. Crazy, right? That I squashed beef without turning it into a big spectacle. We can be normal, guys. We can be human. I'm only human after all. Don't put the blame on me. Was there anything else about this drama I might have missed, guys? Oh, again, Sam Hyde has offered up to train Idubbbz in private. No cameras, no anything. And he says, I will get Idubbbz to win. Nobody ever needs to know. Communication is really important, but it seems like it's lacking nowadays in a lot of places. Arya, 100%. I think it is lacking in a lot of places. Even more than that, I think I was actually talking about this, you know, in the DMs with Toxic, how like people don't communicate like they used to. Like something happened, like their brains broke in the pandemic, and now they're just like all fucked in the head, right? And it's just hard to be like normal, you know, or have those kind of like person-to-person discussions. It's just, I'd be talking to people and they'd be like this. Yeah, huh? Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Put the phone away, dude. Put it away. Talk to me. You know, I'm taking time out of my busy workday because I value our friendship. Put the fucking phone away. And you know, I'm running 2 different D&D sessions right now, and I have this problem with both sessions where we're doing it on Foundry, right? And I say this is a no social media. We are here for this thing. Do you think Anissa had anything to do with this, or are you like, she's fine and Ian's being dumb on his own? I'll answer that in a second after I finish this point, right? But, you know, we put aside this time to do D&D together, to be present with each other, right? We're virtual, but we're present with each other. When you go on Twitter, you're not dedicating your time to thinking about the scene. You can't set it up in your mind. You can't become one with us in that journey, in that adventure, you know, and it's hard to get people in that mindset now. It happens a lot, and I sometimes they'll share screen because I gotta help, and I see them click over to Twitter, and it's like, listen, this is not the time for that. This is time for you to decompress and enjoy a setting, enjoy something that's fantasy. But it's gotten really bad now. Anyway, Moop, to answer your question, I think it's a mix. I think both of them are hurting because they feel like they're not taken seriously. You know, regardless of whether or not you're a creator or an artist or anything like that, we all want to be taken seriously and respected in our respective careers. And I think Idubbbz and Anissa feel like they aren't respected despite the work that they've done, right? Because they talk about Creator Clash being a legacy, right? When we die, what is remembered about us? When Idubbbz and Anissa die, what will be remembered about them? Will it be Creator Clash? Or will it be all of these ridiculous, dumb, stupid things that they've done? Nobody wants to be remembered for that. So, I mean, on one hand, I'd say it was Idubbbz on his own. Some people would say, oh, it was the succubus. She made him do it. Idubbbz is his own man. If he makes any mistakes, those are his mistakes that he's made. You know, if his wife played a hand in that, that is a response that he gave. Whether or not it is fully on one or the other is hard to say, but I just know if I was them, I would want to be respected for what I do. And I think they don't feel respected. And I think that causes people to make stupid decisions and be very petty. I'll be respected by any means necessary. If I can't be loved, then I'll be feared because I'll blackball people. I don't play D&D, but isn't that one of the most important games to be attentive and immersed in? Yeah, 100%. But we are all so addicted to social media now, and especially in the online creator space. You know, we're so addicted to social media that it's hard for us to turn off. I have Twitter open on my second monitor right now because I'm trying to pay attention to the news, but I'm trying to give my present self and my full energy and my showmanship to this stream to be entertaining, to be engaging, and all these things. But it's hard for people to turn that off. And you think it's hard for people that I'm playing with that are in their 30s and 40s? Dude, like, I've worked with teenagers. I do, on occasion, still work with teenagers. You know how hard it is to get them to not take out their phone while you're teaching? I understand why teachers get annoyed when a student takes out their phone. It's a problem. And I can do a lot of work. Now, I've screen wrote, right? I make movies. I teach film. I know how to set a scene visually with my mind, right? But if you're in a movie theater and you're looking at your phone, what are you paying attention to? You know, you're not going to notice those things that make the scene interesting. There's all these beautiful flourishes in like Dune, for example, right? But you don't notice things like the mechanical interior design if you're looking at your phone, right? That's why a movie theater is a place where you turn off your phone and you focus on the movie. D&D is the same way.